Sure.
And otherwise, it's Game Awards and PSX.
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 PS10.
That takes skill to rhyme the letters P, S, and X.
PSX.
PSX.
Deus Ex.
Yeah, it's a sequel to Deus Ex. PSX.
Deus Ex Machina.
It's like what a foreigner tells to you in another country when he's trying to solicit you for prostitution.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex?
Deus Ex.
Deus
Las
Ex?
Guardian, Deus Ex. Hello?
Por favor.
Hello, Kojima, Deus Ex.
Dios mío.
Pesos on Las Guardian.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comfycast. It's me, Reddish Blues, and I know it's been a while since we've posted an episode, but we're back, episode 20. We had to make an episode talking about PSX and other stuff we've been playing for the past month and a half. So I'm joined by Mr. Hoot as always.
Hello.
Varia.
Hey yo.
And special guest Poondunkus, who's been here before. Yeah, we're going to talk about PSX, but first let's kind of recap what this month has been for us. November specifically. Today's the December 6th.
November.
I can go ahead and just bullet point off some stuff I've done, which is in November I think I started playing a bunch of God Eater. I played Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, PS4.
I still need to get on God Eater. It's on my Vita.
Oh yeah, I just played Resurrection. I have not even touched 2.
I have to play Resurrection first and then 2.
Really awesome game. Reminds me a lot of Persona 3 actually, and then obviously Monster Hunter.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there like a lot of RPG elements?
There's you go back to like, okay, you remember in Persona 3 you were kind of, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you go back to the dorm and all that stuff. Well, it's kind of like that, but the dorm is like the base where everyone lives at, and like you go out monster hunting, but there's like the story plots happen at the base.
Kind of like Freedom Wars.
Yeah, kind of like Freedom Wars.
Okay.
But I my character, I made him look specifically like the P3 Pro Tag. I don't know why. I just gave him blue hair and that kind of haircut.
So I'm really blue hair.
It's okay, Reddish. It's gonna come in April.
God.
I guess we'll talk about that a bit later.
Anyways, I'm triggered. No. Yeah. So I've been playing that. I played Tomb Raider. Really love Tomb Raider. I got a whole bunch of games for PS4 and stuff over Black Friday that I have barely touched. Like, I just started The Last of Us for the first time ever in my life.
Oh, really?
I've never played it.
And obviously, The First of Us.
If you're listening to this now and you have watched PSX, you know why I'm trying to play The Last of Us now. But I bought
the PS4 version, I guess.
Yeah, PS4 version, the remastered.
Yeah,
I got Final Fantasy X remastered for PS4, which I did play obviously in my way back when. But what else did I get? Some other games. I don't know. I bought other stuff over Black Friday, but I think that's really all I've been doing. Watching Westworld. Guys, you need to watch that show. It just finished. It was amazing.
So I've heard. Apparently it's incredibly good. It doesn't have a lot of episodes, right?
No, I think it's only like 10, yeah. The last episode.
I'm going to wait until it has enough seasons that it runs itself into the ground and then everyone talks about how awful it is, and then I can go like smug, like I never watched anyway, because I did that with Lost. I did that with Walking Dead.
I was going to say,
right
you sound like me with The Walking Dead.
Frickin', what is it? Song of Ice and Fire, that one?
The Simpsons? No, I'm just playing.
Are you waiting for Stranger
Game
Things
of Thrones,
to do that?
So I'm just waiting. I just don't watch TV. I just like to feel smug when it turns to shit, and then I'm like, yeah, I didn't like that from the start. So,
well, the first 10 episodes are good, specifically the last 2, which were just like, holy shit, one reveal after the other, and then they're like, it's just crazy.
I need to watch them all because it's a podcast I listen, and no, not this one. But like they do a spoiler thing when like they talk about the series. I'm gonna do a huge spoiler cast about Westworld next week. So I think I'm gonna try to watch all of it.
Yeah, binge watch it. I'm always doing that. I'm listening to podcasts and then they're like I was listening to one where they were talking about The Last of Us, and they were like, "Well, it's been enough time, so we'll just go ahead and spoil." It's like, "Oh shit!" I ripped the headphones out of my ear. I was like, "Oh fuck, god damn it!" Like, I can't listen to this now.
Tom, what are you doing?
Yeah,
no. They were talking about Last of
Oh
Us.
man, can you? How many people are going to get upset about all the Eris dies spoilers in the Final Fantasy VII
What?
remake?
She
It's
dies? No, I'm just like,
going to be great.
yeah.
There's
There's
literally
another
a
rumor.
website called that.
ArisDies.com. All right, but anyways, that's mainly my week. I mean, my month. I don't think. I mean, I've been
Cool.
playing other stuff here and there, but whatever.
So
who wants to go next?
Go,
I'll
you
go.
want to go, Poon?
yeah. So I got picked up Abzu.
Oh, right.
Actually, I had picked it up a while ago, but my parents visited me for my birthday, and no joke, I wanted to play it like while they watched, because they watched me play Journey and were like super into it. Like they thought that was great. So it's like, oh, this will be a cool thing they can do when they're visiting, for the weekend and stuff.
Remember
Take a
that
couple
water
hours.
part of Journey? Well, imagine if they made a game of just that part.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, I mean, it's, real beautiful game. I think should have won whatever. It was up in like the best art style
yeah, art
category,
style.
whatever. Definitely
It
should have
was
won that.
nominated, yeah. but
In my
not
opinion,
won. Yeah.
it's not as good as Journey, just because it felt like I was missing on the whole, because Journey had that thing with the other guy who comes in, like the other player.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, because is there a gimmick? Because the one reason I was iffy, like, absolutely looks beautiful, but I was iffy because I was just thinking it's never going to be as good as Journey.
Yeah, you just sort of zoom around and like you can ride on some animals, some sea life, and like it's really cool to see all the different
Just like Seattle.
sea creatures and stuff. And like at one point
snakes?
you go into an area where there's like ancient life. There's like plesiosaurs and old trilobite looking things going around. It's like it's kind of cool, but it just feels a lot simple. Like, yeah, like there's no gimmick to the mechanics other than just kind of swimming around. And the swimming controls are nice, but
yeah, there's just a goal to go somewhere, I guess.
that was the other thing, is like the plot, such as it is, felt even less defined.
Okay.
And not like you need a plot in a game like this, but it felt like I would have liked more lore. You know what I mean? Or at least if it's not spelled out for me, like the ability to like look up, find some things like, oh, this,
Weird.
mosaic
It's almost like a
here.
step back, because they've constantly been improving since Flower and
Mhm.
Flow and Journey was
Well,
kind of this peak. Now they seem
right,
to be
right.
going back on more something.
But
that's
but the thing though that's
vague.
funny is like actually this isn't the same exact team, and I didn't realize that going in.
All right.
It's like the music guy and the art director, but it's not like the same exact team. So people did get reshuffled. So maybe they lost, some of the guys who are coming up with the better like actual game design ideas.
I just imagine like you go to the studio, you walk into like the like the developer room or whatever, you open the door and it's just like a tank of fish.
Everyone's just like lying down, just like free floating in the
I don't know
studios,
why
like
they
those
called it
full body immersion tanks.
I don't know
It's
why
just a
marketing
giant-
named it Abzu. We wanted to call it Life Simulator, but I guess
Yeah.
whatever.
Just a giant fat seal, like just sitting there.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
they're just all high out of their minds, just 100% blaze. You open the door and the smoke is...
Oh god. Anything else you've been playing or you played in this past month?
Well, I mean, Pokemon, obviously. I think we'll be getting to that in more detail later, so I'll save it. I replayed Advance Wars 2 on an emulator. It's one of my favorite games. Just thought I'd go back, and it's still as good as ever. Sad that that series is dead, but actually, the DS one, Advance Wars DS, just came out on the Wii U Virtual Console, so everybody buy that and trick Nintendo into thinking that it's popular, so they can make another game. That would be
Buy
great.
it twice.
No, they just
Yeah.
cancel it and just like hide it like they did for AM2R.
Whew. Anything else you want to talk about before we? I mean, we'll talk about Pokemon later, I suppose. But
Yeah. No, that
I
was
know you've
pretty
been
much
playing
it
that a
for
whole
me.
bunch.
I was only playing those ones.
All right.
Well, I'll continue up. For me, it was basically since November to today. It was for me like the season of end of vaporware on all fronts. like it's kind of exceptional to think that like 1st of November, like the only thing is that in the middle there was Pokemon that just fell and like filled that hole for a few weeks. But like early November was Owlboy that released, which was pretty good. I really liked it, but it does have some flaws. And then fucking Final Fantasy 15 released.
Boom, everything.
Last week, and 6 days later, Last Guardian releases. Earlier here, like the shop I go to, they seem to break the street date quite often because
Let's plug them. Go ahead and plug them. I hope.
Yeah, and let him know the name of the guy who
live in
specifically handed you the copy. I'm sure his managers will be real happy to.
Well, if you live in my city, you probably know. Like, if you just find out where I live, and you probably know which shop it is. No, but very
The
very
tallest
cool
tree
kind
in the
of,
woods, is that it?
Yeah, it's the one I can't go to.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of surreal, really, to think that 3 games which have 8 years plus of development, one has 10, all come out in the same time zone. 2 of them just come out 6 days apart.
It's weird. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
and they're all like
they're all good.
You know,
They're all really good too.
Yeah, like you can. I haven't played any of them, but from what I have heard and stuff, like you can quibble about whatever. Say that they're not the greatest,
nitpicks,
but none of them are shit. You cannot say any of them are shit. Unlike
people expected way worse because of course, the eternal thing of development hell.
Right, Duke Nukem Forever. We know that.
Yeah. And no, like all 3, they do have like some nitpicks and some problems, but they're all solid 8s, solid 9s. Like Final Fantasy 15 is the one I'm most surprised. I haven't had a lot of time to play it. I just played the beginning because I was still in kind of the middle of Pokemon. Then Last Guardian came out, so that took priority for me.
Yeah.
But that was the most surprising. I was sure, like it was still my niggling doubt of Final Fantasy 15. Like a lot of people have their expectations super high about what this game is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I've seen some weird criticism like, oh, it's not like this thing in Verse. Like I've seen a lot of things like it's not like this thing in Versus that I saw. Like this.
Oh yeah, people are upset because there was a lot of Versus stuff leaked, and now the story has completely changed. So they're like, we'll never get that game.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are also upset that it's not really like a Final Fantasy. It's kind of more like a kind of Kingdom Hearts. Kind of reminds me more a lot of Dragon's Dogma. But there's no turn-based, that kind of stuff. So
Final Fantasy has never been really consistent for the past 5-6 games in terms of systems. So like saying it's not really Final Fantasy or it doesn't compare to the fan fiction I had in my head or like the leaks I've heard. It's like I don't feel it's super fair.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, oh, I'm sure it's not as good as that game that we never got, but only heard like rumors of. It's like you don't know that. Maybe it was so crap that's why they changed it.
I mean, that was a 13. It was a spin-off. It was a Lightning spin-off. Like, people can act like they would have loved it or whatever, but look how the other Lightning games did. They didn't do so great. So we'll never know. But I know I'm like you. I haven't played much of it. Maybe like 3 hours in. But man, there's so much like detail into it. Like they thought of a lot of stuff.
And for me, what surprises me is just how. I'm not gonna say yet that so far it's because it's super early and like I barely scratched the surface, but so far I'm really liking the characters. Just because in contrast to everything past in Final Fantasy, they seem so down to earth.
Yeah, they're kind of like normal.
They look like boy band thing, but I kind of like this about it. But they also act like actual human beings.
Yeah,
which is kind of something rare for a JRPG.
Yeah. That's the other thing that gets me is people act like Final Fantasy has had like these wonderful, breathtaking stories and deep moving characters, and it's like
they've always
maybe moments that like you really remember,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, you can't tell me that they're right.
Final Fantasy always has like strong theme and presentation and like worlds, but as far as I'm concerned, like. There are some, like, it has interesting story ideas, but I haven't had a single Final Fantasy that executed it. Like, the old ones, like, I can give it the thing at a time, but, like, they also, like, they're full of holes, and the new ones are just full-on silly, not silly, but they don't seem to be concise with the interesting stuff they have.
I mean, I think
So
any story where your main villain could be actually mind controlled by an evil demon lord from another dimension, and it wouldn't break any sort of like canon things or even be that big of a surprise. Like, oh, okay, I see where they were
or
going.
or is literally a whale that is actually your father, who's also the champion of some kind of volleyball but
Football,
underwater.
Yeah,
soccer,
it's
underwater
like
football.
that's yeah, it's
That's
no
true.
Citizen Kane.
Absolutely right.
But that's also the point. Yeah, it's like mostly to have fun. It's surprisingly like I've heard some things, but I haven't spoiled myself.
Well,
But
this is the thing about like Final Fantasy and Last Guardian and even Owlboy is like, of course there's going to be nitpicks. And it'll
yeah,
never. People will say it'll never live up to the hype, whatever. But those games are going to be someone's 10. Like someone's going to be like, "Oh, I loved everything about Last Guardian," and then other people are going to be like, "Oh, it was kind of like
no,
the
we've seen.
camera was this and whatever." And they'll delve deeper into it. But for the
Mhm.
more casual people that play those things, they're just going to accept it for what it is. And people who don't even know that it was in development for that long, they're
Yeah,
going to just, "Oh, pick
exactly.
this up," and
Well, Last
so
Guardian is interesting because it's something I kind of saw coming, and the creator Ueda saw coming himself. So most of the scores have been pretty consistent. It's like 8 and 9. There's some 10s. Like people really love the games, and
yeah,
I'll say straight away, like I'm not a fanboy of a lot of stuff, but I'm a huge fanboy of Team Ico.
yeah.
Although yeah, there are some like problems with Last Guardians, like camera is finicky. The frame rate is obviously not that great. Like it's probably one of the. It's not the worst thing. Like I would blame the camera more or some of the controls on the frame rate, but it's never a solid 30 on the PS4, and
Eek.
it's never a solid 30 on like the PS4 Pro at 4K. The only moment it's solid 30 is like on PS4 Pro downsample to 1080p. With that said, like because it hovers around 25, 27, and there's a bug that sometimes makes it dip for a very short moment. But that's never really bothersome because it's a very slow game, right?
Yeah,
It's a puzzle game.
yeah.
Hmm.
But the real bothersome thing would be like I would legitimately take out a few points would be just like camera issues. But really it doesn't take out the enjoyment I have this game because I think it's fucking fantastic. And I would recommend if you liked Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, go for it. Not technical problems at all. But the one thing that people will gravitate more or less is the actual creature, Trico.
Hmm.
Because he is not scripted, he's an AI. And
Mm.
it depends entirely on your patience to deal with an actual animal. Um, and it's good. I will say this is the best AI of an animal you will ever see in a video game, bar none. Like it's super impressive, and this is probably the first thing I've truly felt. Yeah, okay, this is really next gen for like PS4 and like this generation. Because no other game has done that. But the problem is that, of course, it's an animal, and animals don't always do what you want to do, and sometimes you have to finicky a bit. Like you just have to insist a bit. I've never had a problem with like giving him orders. Sometimes you just have to tell him twice, and then it goes. And for most of the time, I found out that he gives me hints more than I give him. Like sometimes he's smart enough to just go into the direction that he wants to go, and that's the good direction.
Hmm.
But I've seen other people play where it's like they have a lot of problem just figuring out how the creature works because how the creature works is kind of a puzzle in itself at the beginning. You start and you don't have like when you start off you don't have a lot of control over him, and then as you progress you eventually get commands on how to get him around. Like you can say, "Oh, go there," and he go on his hind legs, and you can climb up him, or you can tell him to jump or come near you, or these kind of stuff. Like there's a few commands that you could give him. And for some people, I guess this will be kind of the breaking point where either you'll like this kind of stuff and you'll be impressed and you'll get endeared by the creature, or you'll be like, no, this is
Frustrated.
absolutely not
Yeah.
the thing for me. And like I've seen reviews like Jim Sterling will give this like kind of a middling score, like a 6.5, because well, he already hates Eco, so it's not much of a problem. But I've seen other like medium scores, which is always the same things, like, oh, I don't have the patience for this.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the problem? Is it the game or is it you?
Well, I'd say like it's not the game for everyone. Simply that like it's the core design that the creature is like this, And like Ueda himself, like he said, I believe that some people will not like this game. And yeah, I guess he's kind of right. But overall, like the positive reviews have been way more overwhelming than the negative ones. Like it's floating around an 83 on Metacritic. So yeah, I think it's a good send off after 8 years of work for Team Ico.
Well, I
which
wonder.
doesn't exist anymore.
I wonder too, like Shadow of the Colossus and stuff. When they launched, what were their like? How did they score? Like, were they beloved right away, or did it take a while? Or was it like a kind of under?
Eco was more of a cult classic. I remember like Eco was pretty divisive initially, but like both of them are right now on Metacritic to like a score of 91 for Shadow of the Colossus. But I don't know if like because that came out a while ago, so I don't know if like it's representative of how people view them back then.
Looking back, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I remember back then, like they were not huge major successes. Like they didn't do a huge amount of sales, but they were critical darlings.
That seems about right.
Yeah, but there were also technical messes when they came out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, trying to get that horse to do fucking anything when you're on him. But I'm saying, like, I wonder if looking back, Last Guardian will be kind of like a cult hit in a way too, where it's like someone who doesn't have a PS4 now is like a kid will play it in their teens, like just on their on their dad's old PS4 or something, or they'll get a PS4 the way like some people we know are getting PS3s like now and going back to that library. So I'm wondering if they'll pick it up and be like, "Wow, this was like a fucking awesome game with AI that was just unchallenged at the time. Like, how did it go? So how did it get a 7 and an 8 and all this shit?"
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of too bad for like the one problem that it had that it took so long is the landscape has changed, so people has changed a lot less forgiving about this kind of stuff. So because people also this 91 for Shadow of the Colossus also came from a time where good games were scored way higher.
Yeah,
That's
the other thing. Review score creep is so real.
So technically, I would consider that The Last Guardian is scoring fairly the same as if you had to, it's kind of like currency exchange for time. Like if you had to consider the times, they kind of have the same. People have kind of the same opinions. But I remember like Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2 almost ran worse in some aspects, especially because that was way more of an action game when you have to be more precise and climbing this colossus and like doing a mistakes would cost you a lot. Here, not so much. Like if you do a mistake, checkpoints are pretty forgiving and you don't have like a stamina gauge like in Shadow of the Colossus. So I never felt frustrated by like the frame rates. Only sometimes the controls where sometimes it's finicky, and it's obviously something that's not been updated since their Shadow of the Colossus days.
Yeah.
But you understand also why, while playing it, I get why this took so long, because when you see the AI and how it moves around, I'm guessing they spent all their time on just getting Trico just doing the stuff that he does. It's fucking crazy, really.
Something happened like in that team and in the development of this game that obviously we don't know that made it take this long, but I do think that the vision is still there, at least from what I've seen of it. I feel like
we know what happened. It's just that the thing would not run on PS3 at all.
Yeah.
Like the trailer we saw back then was basically an sped up gameplay footage.
Why was that exactly that it wouldn't run? Was it because the power of the cell?
Well,
what could happen?
Well, power of the cell, as you can see, like as it barely holds up on the PS4 now, like
it wasn't enough still.
It's just like I'm guessing all the AI and the thing, like all the feathers that move around, like it's just a bunch of things, and that's why I'm saying this is really one of the first really next gen stuff when you actually see it moving.
Maybe it's like that. Was that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they build the computer to answer the question of life, the universe, everything.
Yeah.
And the computer thinks for an age and then says, I cannot tell you the answer, but I can tell you how to build a computer that can give you that answer.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on. So maybe that's what they did. They were like, we have this beautiful vision, but all we came up with were the specs for the PS4. You must make this so we can make our game. Then it comes out in here, and they're like, all right, guys, we need a PS4 Pro. And like, okay, guys, the PS4 Pro will illuminate us the way to the PS5. And then...
It's pretty much that, and I wouldn't mind, like, whenever the PS5 hits, it's like, to make like a trilogy collection with all 3 games running well, so we could just have all of these.
Well,
three
they already
games.
did a
They did a
Ico Shadow of the
Colossus
Colossus
and
double
Ico.
pack. So yeah,
Yeah,
triple
but it would
pack
be
would
cool
be great.
to have like just a pack of all 3 games. Like, here's the ultimate package, and also here's Last Guardian. It doesn't run like at sub 25.
Oh yeah, it'll be called the Team Eco Insane Collection. Oh wait, that's Crash.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for my part, absolutely, it's exactly what I wanted all these years. It's a Team Eco game. It's if you wanted a Team Eco game, that's exactly what you're getting with jank and all, but also all the charm and uniqueness of it. And yeah.
Well, that sounds super comfy. All right, very is here, guys. I hope. Oh God, did he die?
Hello. Oh God,
Hello?
he is dead. Oh, there you are.
I thought he fell asleep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was watching that video of the guy punching the kangaroo.
What?
Oh, I saw that. Okay,
Yeah.
Varia, what have you been up to this month? Oh, I've been watching that video for a straight month.
Well, I've been playing Tomb Raider, the 2013 reboot.
Oh yeah, boy.
Because I want to
one,
play
yeah.
Rise. I really liked it, honestly. I thought it would be like one of those. Well, it is an Uncharted clone, which is basically a Tomb Raider clone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a better Uncharted than Uncharted at this point.
Yeah, it's really fun though. Even the 2013 version is like really fun, and I just can't wait to play Rise. Yeah, I got it for $1.
It goes to like $1 and $5 like all the time. It's if you haven't played it, you really should. Like, it's great atmosphere. I like the story. I mean, I'm into it. I think the first one I liked better than Rise, but still, it was pretty cool. But yeah, the gameplay is just great too.
Yeah, it's really awesome. The thing is, though, I had just been playing a bunch of Overwatch before I started playing.
You mean
Tomb
Game
Raider.
of the Year?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, I was using the bow for like most of the game because I don't know, I wanted to feel like a tryhard or anything or something. And I didn't notice until like the very end of the game that there's like a certain limit to how long you can hold the bow. And for me, I was just like charging it to max, like which takes like half a second and just launching like the arrows.
I see. Yeah.
So there's like so many little things that I wasn't noticing that the game has. Like,
well, did you upgrade your bows at all?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I did that. I mean, but there was like certain things like recoil and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That didn't really make too much of a difference for me. But they're there and they're nice, I guess, for people who do need them.
Yeah, I think I played most of the game with the bow too. I never feel right using guns like in kind of like stealthy games where like, or at least where there's an option. Like even right now when I'm playing Last of Us, I'm like, I never use my gun. Like I'm trying not to, not because I don't want to, because I feel like it takes like, how can I possibly be like firing a gun at maximum volume with like zombies around or with like the guards around in Tomb Raider? Like there's no way, like it just takes me out of it. So I usually just try to use
It's apparently the same, just going in a tangent, like the stealth, it's apparently way better to just not use gun if you're playing Watch Dogs 2. I recommend go watch and see the Super Bunny Hop review of it. So apparently it's a very, very, very good game.
without guns.
But yeah, like you'll get the most of it if you try like the stealth no-kill approach.
Oh, like just hacking everything?
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Something happened to Varia just now.
Oh god, he disconnected. Let's take a break here. We're gonna try to get Varia back, and we'll figure out what happened. I think he lost connection.
There's a kangaroo at his door.
I actually kind of
kangaroos.
You watching that video, motherfucker? Knock, knock, knock. No. Yeah.
He used up all his bandwidth just downloading gigantic torrents of kangaroo punching videos.
I don't know. Okay, we'll take a break. Oh, he's back.
I'm so sorry.
Oh god. Well, let's take this break here. We'll come back, finish up Varia what he was talking about. It's too late. And we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Varia joins us again. We're finishing up what he's been doing since we've been away from the Comfycast. What else did you play besides Tomb Raider?
I've been playing Shadowverse. Shoutouts to CD, Mr. Shadowverse Master out there. It's basically Hearthstone, but with anime girls and a bunch of magic stuff.
About this, yeah.
So there's it basically plays like Hearthstone and stuff, where you have points to summon, use cards, and then it has spells. Different decks have different mechanics, which is pretty cool. There's a certain deck that requires you to actually hurt yourself, and when you get below a certain point of your health pool, your cards do these insane things where they're powered up and they do more damage, and it's just like a passive. Every deck has a passive that actually changes the game or changes matchups, which is pretty interesting. They have a story, which is you go through each deck and each person's story where you learn how to use the deck, and you get exclusive cards that are only accessible through the campaign. So you get those, and then you can. Yeah, they're good cards. I've played a few matches with CD with the cards I get from the decks, and they can be game changing. But you really have to be a really smart deck builder in order to everything to function perfectly and stuff.
Yeah,
which I am not. I'm really bad at making decks and card games, especially. I played with Yaro. He also plays. And I don't know, it's just so weird trying to stick with the beginner deck because the other decks offer so much more. The beginner deck, the only thing it's good for is it gives you a lot of cheap cards early, so you could just fill the playing field with fairies and stuff, it's basically fluff, so they won't attack you directly right away. But the other decks, there's stuff officers, knights and stuff, they rank up, they get boosted. You get ninjas that can't be attacked until you attack. There's all this crazy
ninjas
stuff.
Or just regular ones?
Yeah, there's one. I forgot her name, but basically she's this really late game card, and you put her down and she duplicates herself, and I'm holy shit, this is a good card.
God damn.
And that combined with the fact that they can't attack her right away, and I can keep her hidden and charge her up over a couple turns, that just changes the way I approach endgame with that deck. But other than that, I've been playing Let It Die, which came out a few days ago after PSX.
Oh shit, that's right.
It was produced by Suda51, but the director is someone else who I forgot their name because they are not Suda51.
Yeah.
It's basically the way I've been hearing people's reception on it would be a free-to-play Dark Souls. Free-to-play Bloodborne. Never mind. Yeah, Bloodborne. Since it's really fast, and there's you get heavy attacks and you get normal attacks, but the heavy attacks don't come until you have a certain mastery of a weapon, which is pretty cool because you can switch between these different weapons and choose masteries between the ones you actually want, And the default weapons are your fists, so imagine building up mastery with your fists, which I've been doing, and I prefer the fist because it has this really heavy hook, which I'm not sure if it's a hook because the person punches towards the ground, and it doesn't break defense per se, but it does a lot of damage and breaking people's. You can actually raid bases the same way you can do in Gear Solid 5.
Huh.
So, I've been using my fists to break their banks and stuff to steal their resources to liberate these captives that they have.
And so it's heavily multiplayer focused, right?
Oh yeah. It's roguelike, right? There's levels.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not live PvP. Well, at least though how much I've played, I haven't actually fought an actual player. I don't think I've actually played with someone.
I see. So it's the base.
It's basically someone's ghost you're fighting,
Okay.
If they die there, you're dying you're fighting their ghosts. If you go to their base, you're fighting their characters, which they leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never get notifications when my base has been raided until I get to a certain level, or if I come back from exploring the tower. I'm not told. And then when you arrive at your base, all you see is one of the stores on fire, and that's your notification that you've been raided. So there's not really PvP per se, but there's elements of that, and it's sort of focused on that because it's an alternate way to get resources other than exploring the tower.
Right.
So what I had heard about it, or at least what I had seen from it, was honestly not very inspiring. It looked kind of low budget, like it was going to be super
That's
edgy.
funny because
and
what drew
use
me
that
to it was the the style. Like
Oh, really?
Oh, the style's
yeah,
there. It's just
yeah, I
it does
really
feel
like that.
really cheap, like Poon says.
Yeah.
So it does. It's a free to play game, and of course it's going to be cheap. But like the thing is, you're kind of expecting something better because you hear Suda51's name
Right.
on it.
You hear
But
Suda,
it
but
does feel like really, really cheap.
what it reminded me of is Devil's Third, from what I had seen of it.
Oh yeah,
In the
I forgot
sense
about
that
that
it's
game.
going to be a super edgy, kind of over the top game aimed at Westerners, made by this Japanese guy who has a history of making great games, like these great technical action games. But then it's going to come out and it's going to be this half-baked, low quality, unpolished kind of mess that's just disappointing. That's my expectation of
Well,
it. So
more than
it's cool to
anything-
hear that it's not that.
I would not say if Tomonobu Itagaki is like one who did a slew of great games. But
Good
yeah.
point. I guess it's mainly just, the Ninja Gaiden Black.
Especially since he's been blaming Nintendo for the failure of Devil's Third.
Well,
Well, didn't they make
Right.
like 3 copies?
That's true. That's really true.
yeah, he had a super salty interview on it, and where he basically like denied all the poor reviews, and was like, "No, they didn't play it." And it's
They
like,
didn't
well,
give us a
maybe you just
chance.
made a bad game, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
My
Well,
favorite was, I think, I don't know which journal what they were, he was being interviewed by, but he was saying, no, but like they didn't give us any time for like the multiplayer demos during booths and stuff like that. And the journalist replies, well, yes, they did. We were there.
called out.
And that's
Yeah.
the end of that question.
I like the look of it. I think it's weird enough and quirky enough that it got my attention to download it and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's like login bonuses, you get them when you log in. The microtransaction kind of puts me off from it. Obviously, it's free to play, so it's going to have something to make money, but I'm not exactly sure how they work. I think it's like gems, and then they like you can like respawn with them or
Yeah,
pick up where you were.
You know how in Dark Souls and stuff you can you die and you have to go back to the last bonfire. Well, in this case, when you die, you go back to your base, but you don't return to with your character. Your character dies in that tower and stays there, and you have to use another character to go get them because they're this maniac and they've gone wild. Literally punch some sense into them.
Yeah.
But what these death medals, that's what they're called, like the little gems. What you do with them is you respawn right there and then. So you don't lose any of your stuff. So you just come back, and you can get a lot of it because you don't really need to buy them. I haven't bought any because there's login bonuses, there's like quests, there's like a bunch of stuff that you can do to get them. And basically, I lost my train of thought. And oh yeah, it's not that intrusive in terms of pay to win. Just in that aspect. And there's like this thing called an express pass or whatever, which is premium, and which you can buy for like 30 days or 1 day. All it does is like reduce the fee, or you don't pay the fee to use the elevator to go to a certain level of the tower that you've already been to. Typically, if you want to explore from where you left off, you need to pay the elevator fee to go back to that tower. Let's say I came back from level 10 because I was low on health. So I take the elevator down, and then I have to pay both ways to go up and down to go back to that level to continue exploring. It does that, and I think it does a thing where like it auto revives you, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen all the options for pay to win, but it's not that intrusive. It just makes a few things easier, not actual, not the combat or anything.
Right.
Well, that's interesting. I have it downloaded. I'll try it more, hopefully. As like I said, it's a lot of stuff I'm playing right now, but it's kind of cool that they
on my list as well.
that they did a shout out to it during PSX and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Although yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere.
That's a good
I thought,
segue.
It's still gonna come out as an official release. It's out now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following it though for a few months, and they never said anything about release dates or anything. They've been really quiet, and some of their content on their YouTube channel was really weird, like comedians with drumsticks in their underwear laughing and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, what's this? Why is this happening? Can I get some actual information about the game? And
is this some abstract kino going on?
Yeah, but like, I mean, they did have some diaries and stuff like that, but they were never like really. They never gave like concrete information about like release dates and stuff. So when I heard it was out, I was skeptical. I thought it was a demo, not the actual. Especially since like you can the game downloads in like 3 parts, like 8 GB parts.
Yeah.
So it does the thing Blizzard does where you can launch the game if like you have a certain section already downloaded.
That's
so
pretty
apparently,
nice.
I had 8 gigs downloaded, and I got a certain point to the game after the mid boss, and it said, "Oh, this floor isn't ready yet." And I thought, "Whoa, I guess this is a demo." And then I heard people like, "Oh, I'm on level 10, I'm on level 20," and I'm like, "Wait a second, what's going on?" So then, after 2 days of just like exploring the first 3 levels, I checked that I only had 8 gigs downloaded of the 24.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
So make sure to download all
What a
24.
weird way to do that. Yeah, well, I was saying, I'm glad. I mean, it was kind of cool that they did the shout out at PSX, which is a good segue into what we want to talk about next, which is PSX.
Well,
a lot of
first
shit got announced.
Oh, is
okay.
do we want to have a tangent on Game Awards?
Oh
no.
Well, we talked about this earlier, and I was like, all we need to talk about is Game of the Year that won, which is Overwatch. What else
there's
won?
one thing we can talk about. And that was at the very beginning. Thank God. That was the Death Stranding trailer.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Talk about Kino right there.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, if we have to talk about one thing of the Game Awards, it's not... Or is that either that or the Shake Hydrobots? And I'd rather talk about Death Stranding.
Oh, yeah, a new trailer for Death Stranding came out, which kind of surprised me. I mean, I knew Kojima was going to be there, but I thought they were going to, like, wait to show anything else about this game for a couple of years.
Now, isn't it kind of funny that... so, remember how after all the shitstorm about No Man's Sky, how Jeff said that, we're going to be more stringent going forward on the sort of trailers that we show.
Yeah.
And, to make sure they're representative of the final product. Enjoy this cinematic trailer. Thanks.
Yeah, I'd give a pass to Kojima just because it's so fucking weird. Although I will say the rest of the show they also had like a lot of cinematic trailers, so it doesn't excuse him at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I might have been over this before at some point. I'm not the biggest Metal Gear Solid fan. I think Kojima's storytelling abilities are massively overrated, and people...
Shots fired, Poon.
Yeah, people talk about as if like the story is the best. It's like the Final Fantasy thing for me. They talk as if the story is the reason you play the game, and it's not for me.
Yeah, well,
they are great games, but that's because of the gameplay. And like the story has some fun elements and has a couple of cool lines and stuff, but his ability to tell a narrative and just actually writing the way characters speak, I don't know.
I agree with you. I don't have I can't speak from experience as far as like Metal Gear Solid stuff goes. I've only seen most of it. I haven't played a Metal Gear Solid game since. Well, I played 5 somewhat, but then I haven't played a Metal Gear Solid since PlayStation. So,
I'm a bit on two sides. I think he's a good writer. Like, I think he does write interesting stuff, and I genuinely enjoyed the Metal Gear stories that he written. It's just that he needs someone maybe to compress some of his thoughts.
Well, he did. He had a writer on both Solid 1 and 2, but after that, he was gone.
And,
he was gone.
And that's sort of what worries me the most about this one, is he's totally unfettered, This is, it's not punished Kojima, this is Shin Kojima,
Oh, no.
He's releasing his limiters, he's breaking out the Dark Auto, and he's just going to go crazy.
Some friends yesterday about Shin Kojima.
I mean, well, we can't really judge much off the trailers. They're weird. I don't know what the fuck they're about.
Yeah, they are weird, but they are also, I will give them this, they are thematically consistent. He's bringing up motifs, and I would hope that he's...
Someone who brought up something quite incredible is like, if you sync up like the 2 trailers of Death Stranding, the moment like the baby disappears from the arms of Norman Reedus in the first trailer is exactly to like...
I thought someone debunked that. I thought it was that they found out that like it was
Really?
like close. It was really close, but it doesn't actually line up. Like if you start the trailer at the same, I don't know where I saw it. It might have been on Twitter.
I heard it was like in
But
sync. Like,
Someone said it was really interesting the way it works, where it's like if
Mhm.
you do sync them up, yeah, the baby disappears, and as
Yeah.
the camera pulls away, the other one, the baby's coming out.
Yeah. But even if
But
it's
I'm
not
not
that
sure
the
if it's-
second, like it seems to be. Yeah, it has the same.
They're related.
beats.
They're clear. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
clearly. He's clearly trying to
Yeah.
hint at something
And
there.
yeah, it's cool to have Del Toro, but like I don't know what role Del Toro will have on this, but it's cool to have him back on board.
Yeah.
And obviously, Mads Mikkelsen is a big get. So, yeah, he's kind of building his weird clique of friends.
Yeah.
You have like, hey, can you be naked
What you
and hold
didn't
this
see
baby?
is he basically spent the summer going around
Hanging
doing
out
his,
with the coolest
Hey, want to
dudes
be
ever.
with, want to be
No,
in my game?
he's doing that. Oh, what's it called? The thing in Metal Gear Solid 5 where you beat up people and then take them back to your base.
Oh, I read
like
that.
recruiting
I
and
saw
stuff?
that, Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been putting it on Fulton balloons.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Just
just been
bringing
Fultoning like Del Toro and Mads Mikkelsen and all these other people, and he's like, "All right, these guys are on my base now,"
back.
and now they're all
Pretty
going to work
much.
together and make a weird ass game.
You
And
guys want to cosplay the Final Fantasy 15 group with me at the next convention? It's like the four of them.
that would be great.
And also, like news on the engine is basically, I think it's called Degika or something like. It's basically the people who are working on the engine are the people from Guerrilla Games.
Oh yeah.
So they make good engines. So that's
Yeah,
cool.
look at Horizon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's not out yet. All right, let's go to PSX.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yay.
Oh, so much shit was announced. This was on what was it? A Saturday? Saturday
Yeah,
morning.
so
Yes.
someone said on Twitter that PSX is basically Tokyo Game Show but localized for a Western audience.
I kind of yeah.
Pretty much. It's the
And-
second best thing to TGS for me.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is great. This was better than E3 for me.
Yeah.
In terms of like games mentioned that I actually am interested in and might actually play, you know?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because it was like
It was hella weeb
uninterrupted,
is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, well, it was like uninterrupted, just like announcements of games and touching on stuff, and they talked
Yeah.
about the Vita, and just it was good shit.
Yeah.
It was good shit all at once. There was no downtime. There was no like I don't give a fuck about this.
It's like I was telling Reddish, they've got this formula down. They've been consistent. Like Sony has been consistently good now since 2015, or since their first PSX, in fact.
Mhm.
But they've been really good at just doing game presentations now. Even
Yeah.
at E3, like E3 is like the one group I always look most forward to to watching is Sony, because now they've got this thing of, yeah, hi, it's us. Now here's some games, and like you barely see people on stage. It's just like, here's some trailers,
Right.
and you do whatever you want with them. It's just there's no bullshit. It's just trailers.
hmm
And this year in particular, like E3 was already good, and they had a good TGS, and like they have the very solid PSX.
Yeah, there was I was just looking at a list of, titles that were announced or touched on or confirmed for Western release dates.
Mhm.
And it's just a whole lot of good stuff, so like I was looking at it, it's like, all right, the Loco-Roco, Patapon, and Parappa remasters, Danganronpa 3, Yakuza 6, the remake of the Yakuza original,
Oh yeah, that was huge.
Nier,
Yeah,
Ace Combat 7, Ni no Kuni 2, Resident Evil 7, Neo, Street Fighter 5, King of Fighters 14, both got, things. Marvel vs. Capcom
Fucking
Infinite.
Marvel.
Gravity Rush 2 was there, Last Guardian, I guess was kind of coming out, whatever.
Yeah.
Death Stranding was, I guess that was the other thing. But
Well, yeah,
still,
you're right.
just
Well,
all
right,
of this.
He was still at the PSX talking about it, so
Right,
yeah,
right.
like, he
It was just
still-
all of this great stuff. And, it's cool. It's the sort of thing where, like, when the PS4 came out and, like, it had no games, and I was like, it's gonna get the games.
yeah.
Gonna
I
happen.
mean,
And now it's getting too many games in fucking 6 months, and I
Mhm.
can't deal.
Yeah, it's gonna be overload.
there's just too many games in general.
But
man.
can we take a sec to talk about Marvel, baby?
Marvel,
Sure.
baby.
Well, yeah.
Did you see that
let's-
guy react to both announcements? He was just
Oh,
Oh,
screaming.
yeah, the dude in the audience. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
it was
yeah,
okay, was that the
identified
first
him.
thing? Was that the first thing they announced? Oh, it was Uncharted, right?
The first thing was Uncharted, which I gave no
So,
shit about.
Pass over Uncharted. Okay, good luck to those people that like it.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah,
If you want,
so-
if you
Mega
want
Man
to talk about Uncharted,
X
send an email.
specifically. Can't believe it's X. Super
Oh, yeah.
excited for
Well, they
that. That's
knew.
awesome.
They knew, like, it's the
Yeah.
very first thing they show is like his boots, the most
Of
recognizable
course, yeah.
thing. It's
Yeah, they knew
basically
they had
Marvel
to-
going, shut the fuck up, we know.
they knew they had to get that in there.
So they've shown, out of characters, they've shown X, Iron Man, Ryu, and what's her name?
Morgan
Captain
and
Marvel.
Captain America.
Captain
Yeah, they've also shown Captain America and Morgan.
So it was actually kind of weird. So like there's that initial, cinematic kind of trailer, whatever. And then they did
Gameplay
another
at the-
trailer
Yep.
that they showed. Yes,
The
that was
Capcom
at Capcom.
Co. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
then
gameplay trailer.
at ESPN's thing, they showed another trailer.
Mhm.
And the weird thing for me between the second and the third trailer, like I was trying to watch the second and I was all like, are these real combos? Like there's cuts. It's cutting. That didn't look like it comboed. Am I supposed to think it comboed? And I know that's not the point, is to actually see real combos, whatever. It's just supposed to hype you up. But then in the third trailer, the editing was better done, and I could actually tell what was going on more. So I just thought that was kind of funky. I was like, why did you even bother having two cuts of the same trailer?
Yeah.
Like, there's one point where Captain Marvel spikes Mega Man down, and he bounces off the ground, and Iron Man flies in. And in the second trailer, he just shoots a beam upwards and hits Mega Man. It's like he was on the ground. And then in the third trailer, they see him do like the fly down low and scoop him up for the level 3. It's like, oh, that makes sense. That was not even a second of footage. Why wasn't that just in there?
Yeah.
So
That's weird.
I don't know. This was
My
some weird thing I
basic
noticed.
thing would be like, it's not done, and they'd made this to just make it look hype. My
That
basic
could be.
guess that would be.
But didn't they let people play it or no? Or was there no?
No, there-
Yeah,
that wasn't playable.
I was on people. I think so, that was playable. Like I've seen some YouTubers like Maximilian Dude who who does a lot of fighting games, played a bit.
Oh yeah.
The interesting thing that I've learned is that this is the first fighting games in a super long time which is developed entirely by Capcom. Like
Wow.
all of the fighting games like Street Fighter and the previous Marvel vs. Capcom and like basically all of their big fighting games have been outsourced to other companies. Like the Bloody War company, I think, did the Marvel vs. Capcom, and
Dimps did.
Street Fighter was done by not Dimps.
Wasn't it Dimps?
Was it? Yeah, I think it was Dimps actually. But this is the first thing. So the good thing is that, yeah, this is entirely made by Capcom, so they might have less back and forth and just changing stuff and tweaking stuff.
That would
The
be
thing
nice.
I'm more iffy, either it can be super good or it can be kind of shitty, is that Marvel seems to be also much more hands-on on
Yeah, that's
design.
Yeah.
really the thing that has me the most worried, and especially because the rumor going around is no X-Men's.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
because of Fox. Like,
Right,
I
because of
doubt
Fox.
they're
No
gonna be in
X-Men's,
there.
no Fantastic Fours.
Which sucks, but
And
I
that
mean,
majorly sucks, because to me that's
Marvel.
that's
a
Marvel.
huge
That,
part,
the
yeah.
original Marvel games came out of the Children of the Atom game. It came out of X-Men versus Street Fighter. Like,
Yep.
that was what it was before it was Marvel versus Capcom, and it just really doesn't feel,
No
like
Magneto,
a Marvel game
no
to lack
Wolverine,
those
no
guys.
Cyclops.
Yeah, Magneto, Sentinel,
Yeah,
sucks.
Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit,
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, because he's Fantastic Four related.
Yeah.
Will probably not be in here.
On the other hand, you might get Punisher.
Oh yeah,
I
That's
don't know.
cool.
Punisher's whatever.
It's
And I guess it's like, it's one of those things that, sucks, and I'm thinking of other
Beta
more
Man.
obscure characters that might get in, but then the thing though,
Squirrel Girl.
right, yeah, okay, yeah, so like, yeah, Squirrel
Oh,
Girl
yeah.
could be cool. Gotta give a shout out to my homie Machine Man that no one remembers. Black Bolt would be cool, even though they're not pushing the Inhumans as much as they were before. But then I'm worrying
Chain,
that,
of course, she'll be in.
well,
Honking
I'm
away to
worrying though that
victory.
they're just going to be like,
Goku from
okay,
Dragon
it
Ball
has
Z,
to be
yes.
Marvel Cinematic Universe
Mhm.
characters, you
Oh,
know?
no.
Yeah.
And that still is a decent roster, right? But it's like,
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is with the name Infinite, I'm also guessing this roster is like, this game is gonna go on for a very
Yeah,
long
it's gonna
time.
grow
It's gonna
and
be
they're gonna-
updated
Yeah,
for a
They
very
want it
long
to last.
time.
That's really the good thing is that
Yeah.
it's gonna have legs, and I think
Maybe
like
they can
even
work out
Street
some
Fighter
deals.
5 is getting more support. Like,
Yeah.
people said it flopped, it sold poorly, but they're still supporting it. So if they can do that,
great,
if Disney's
but
going to
it's
be
coming into it.
if Disney's
Yeah.
going to be pumping money into this, for sure it's going to come around. So I guess that's the silver lining, is even if your favorites don't get into this initial roster, you're sure there's going to be DLC.
Oh
Yeah.
shit,
Um,
Mickey Mouse. Bring it
Oh,
man.
damn.
Well, that's the
Cars
thing.
versus-
Donald Duck.
Cars.
That's why I was gonna say, like, Marvel is like either it's gonna be like the kind of a midway thing, or it's gonna be the like if it's good Marvel Disney, which means they're gonna be super on point and like having the things right because they want this to sell, obviously.
Yeah.
So like they want to get the things just right, and they're gonna go full like pleasing the fans.
Yeah.
Like, that's good Marvel. The kind of shitty thing would be
Pose for the fans.
we're just gonna do it for
Go,
brand
big guy.
recognition and kind of do this on the cheap, which that would be the sucky thing.
Right.
But on the other hand, like it's still Capcom developing, and they want
Yeah, it's
this
still
to work.
Capcom doing it.
And I've heard like like one of the directors is the one who worked on Marvel Superheroes, the old like game, arcade game, which is pretty damn good. And also kind of where the Infinity Stone like gem mechanic comes in. So
yeah, we know a little bit about the mechanics. It's going to be 2 versus 2. Like again, the original, Marvel versus Capcom. So
No
I guess
assist,
that's
though.
something. No assist is a little. That's funky
strange.
to me.
Yeah.
And then they talk about how we want the characters to really, synergize. But it's like my team synergized fine, and I used the assists to
were
do
great
that
for all these other characters.
Right,
Rush.
and to me, I always felt like assists and 3 characters makes it easier to play bad characters because you can support them by 2 other good ones. Or
it felt more full, like it felt like more of an experience having the assists. I feel like because you could have these other characters, and it was like a 3 team, and like.
Whereas with 2 characters, I worry that if this guy sucks, you can't. That's 50% of your team. You got to pick a top tier. Is what I would be worried about.
It's more easy to make a meta like these 2 like they dominate, like that's it. Like there's no like a wild card, like like a Charlie from Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
To throw in there, like holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel 3, we can go on for days about the balance problems in there, but like, even so, I don't know if anyone could agree that there's the best team, because there's like 4 or 5 best characters, and you can kind of swap them, and we haven't got to that Storm Magneto Sentinel period.
Yeah, especially for all fighting games, the one fighting game I would think it would not be a good thing to simplify would be Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah,
mostly because it's such. To me, it always seems like this is the most craziest fast fighting game on the market. Like, there's nothing like it.
And the other thing is that part of the charm to me was seeing sort of Japanesey interpretations of Western characters. Because for the most part, they just they use the same design as the classic characters based on the cartoons.
But Marvel had nothing to do with actually designing in game.
Right, exactly.
Capcom
But
use these.
Yeah, but there's that anime kind of style going into it, especially that Capcom the late 90s was so on point with the Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter 3. That whole aesthetic that they had going on was great. And Marvel 3, I mean, kind of less so. That wasn't a very pretty game, but at least it was trying to be kind of stylized. Mm-hmm. And so far, admittedly, this is an early build. Games can look a lot better. Especially fighting games usually tend to look much better than their original thing, but it just looks very safe.
Well, let's say this. Thank your lucky stars, it doesn't look like Injustice 2.
Yep.
That's some of those faces scared the shit out of me. What's her name? Looks like Chucky.
Wonder Woman looks
Girl.
horrible. Like, what the fuck?
Just scares me. Like,
but on the other hand, like, because I'm pretty confident, like, Street Fighter 5 didn't look like, it looked rough at the beginning and looks super good now, and King of Fighters recently got a patch.
That's right, yeah. That was also PSX,
better.
King of Fighters announcing they're doing their graphics. And that's really cool to see, because they totally didn't have to.
No, like, the game itself was good.
Yeah, the game was already good, and it sold terribly because it's a King of Fighters game. I mean, it sold good for what they expected, probably, but
South America.
Right, but like, I don't think it even broke 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So they totally could have, like, they would have been totally justified in abandoning it, but they're not, and that's great. Mm-hmm. I love that fighting games are alive, and there's different ones coming out. It's good. It's a good time.
They're more alive than ever, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like every major franchise is
except Soul Calibur. A brief segue away from this. Soul Calibur just like announced some video about celebrating 20 years of a franchise. Pachinko. Pachinko. There's your announcement, boys. Pachinko. It's like, all right.
Pachinko.
Yeah, like I'm still I mean, I got Last Guardian, so I'm still on the hope that we might get a Soul Calibur game, but...
Soul Calibur 7, let's go, next E3.
Seven,
We'll put it next to Devil May Cry 5.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, is like, if Dante, like, old Uncle Dante shows up in Marvel vs. Capcom, that pretty much confirms that there's a new Devil May Cry coming up. Especially with Capcom saying, like, we want to revive old IPs, and...
Well, they used old Dante in the Project X Zone 2, or whatever, that came out, like, last year or something, so... I think that Capcom in general has agreed with everyone else to ignore DMC.
Like, DMC is in the trash bin right
now.
Yeah,
going forward, we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Yeah.
The fuck's the DMC? Here's Devil May Cry.
But anyway, getting back on track, what else was that PSX?
Well,
there was...
after Marvel vs. Capcom, they talked about Destiny.
Okay. I mean, it's Destiny.
Yeah, still
I hear
Destiny.
people who enjoyed it before are enjoying it even more now.
No,
so
I've heard
more
people
power
that
to
who
them.
hated it before are enjoying it now, because apparently Taken King added a bunch of stuff. Like, we know
really?
599's been playing a lot of it.
Oh, that's good.
I haven't played it in a long time, and I don't have it anymore, so...
That game always looked cool to me. Like, if I was into first-person shooters, which I'm not because I'm terrible at them, but if I was into them, I'd probably be playing it too. I like the visual style of a lot of the armor. Cool
concept.
And stuff.
Let's see how they do it with Destiny 2 whenever that finally launches.
Yeah, hopefully it's on PC, because I don't like playing FPS on console.
Yeah.
But
what happened after that?
We can go over like a bunch of like remasters that's actually pretty cool.
Right.
Parappa, the rapper, getting a remaster.
20th anniversary?
And Patapon as well.
Patapon,
That's the one I'm more interesting. I never got to play Patapon, so I'm seriously going to pick that up, I bet.
Yeah.
Wipeout, like a huge Wipeout collection coming out, which got me super happy because, well, it's not a new Wipeout, but it's a step.
Yeah.
Well, the point of all these is to see what's going to sell. Like, it's to
test the waters.
Test the waters from the fan base. Be like, put up or shut up. Like, do you really want a new Crash game or not? Like,
and as much as people like to whine about, oh, why don't you just make a new game? It's like,
course,
they kind of do got to do this because making games is expensive business these days. You can't just risk it. That's something that to go back to fighting games, people say just make a new Darkstalkers, Capcom. It's like it's not that easy. As much as I would personally love that,
I feel like Crash is going to do good.
With the 50 Darkstalker fans.
Exactly. I realize why that's a risky financial decision. You know, when Street Fighter V does this well, and Darkstalkers, really? You want us to just jump in there?
Well, it's cool that like stuff like Garou, Mark of the Wolf, also like.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that. And Windjammers. That'll
right
title.
Fuck you, Dave Lang.
I had literally no idea what Windjammers was.
I got so happy when I saw the screen. Like it's really like a super fun game. I hope we play like
it's like Super Pong Punch.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's insane. We should get like this on the console and just play it together. Chill all day for Windjammers.
What worries me is like Crash. I think is going to do great. I think it's just a good.
Is that a remake of just the first game or like
the
all
first three?
The first three. Okay, good.
But I feel like it's just a good bundle. Like it's a good purchase. It's a good deal. Like you get those 3 games remastered and they showed the way it looks and stuff. But where I see like Parappa, like I feel bad because I don't think it's going to do good. Like,
I don't think as well.
Parappa 2 wasn't anywhere near as good as Parappa, and I don't even think they announced that they're going to remake that, right? So it's just going to be Parappa 1 remade, like on its own.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that's going to do as well as
I
would hope that would. I mean, that it would, and I don't know about Patapon or Loco Roco. I don't know, but
I mean,
I personally enjoy Patapon Loco Roco more. I think. Parappa would like to get it out here for nostalgia's sake, but it's just true. Like I don't see Parappa like. And I'm sorry, Reddish, but I don't see this.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is I fear for it because I think it's great that they're doing it, but I don't see if this is to test the waters, engage the market. I don't think it's going to move the needle where it's like, oh man, we made this much off of Parappa. Let's make a second one.
I mean, on the other hand, though, did they say it's going to be like full? Maybe it'll just be like a digital, $20 download thing, or whatever. That would definitely help.
But that's what I'm saying is. It'll be like a cool download to go and replay a lot of the your memories and stuff. But no one's going to be like, oh, I've got.
Yeah, no,
got to get the new Parappa game because I
don't think it's going to jumpstart a new Parappa game. I think Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll
so
be cool.
It kind of makes me sad,
to
even though
get
I'm
it,
like, well,
but-
at least they're recognizing him. You know, look at Nintendo with Metroid. They didn't even fucking retweet shit about, you know, they couldn't
Yeah.
even give two fucks about her. But
I love the trailer they made for Parappa, which like this young teen who plays Parappa like on his PS1, and then it fast forwards to him with gray hair and 2 kids.
Yeah.
Like I was his age when I was playing PS1.
Now
I'm
I'm
not that
50.
old.
That film
It's
in
like-
15 years ago was 30 years ago. Oh my
It's
God.
like I don't have gray hair, but thanks.
they're so
Oh,
disillusioned. They think it's been
Come
50
here, my
years.
2 kids.
Yeah.
It's still a
I
cute
think the
trailer.
real thing there is that anyone who grew up playing fucking Parappa has kids by now. Fucking
Who will want to play Parappa. Like, it's not just kids, like, their kids, like, they seem to be 10 to 12 years old. Like, that kid was fucking busy. The moment he stopped playing Parappa as a kid, he got laid, got
You
married,
got,
got kids.
you got the tips
Just
from
in time for the
from
Parappa
the
remake.
Sweet Master Onion or whatever
That's
his
where
name
he learned
is.
how to procreate.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're
He
playing
had to get
Parappa,
big, gotta
if you're
believe.
playing Parappa at that age, there's no way you have a fucking mortgage. There's just you're renting out a shitty apartment. Come
Maybe
on.
that's the angle. They're going to make a new Parappa. It's going to be for like middle-aged people. It's going to be, you know, wrapping you through like mortgage and tax returns and
I
stuff.
feel like
and-
this is just to kind of give him a little bit of a bump for when they announce the fucking PlayStation All Stars 2 and they want to have him in there. Like this is just so you remember who he. Oh, the dog,
Yeah,
the little
maybe.
dog with the beanie. Yeah, I
Keep it
remember
alive,
him.
yeah.
You know, I almost believed they were going to show PlayStation All Stars because at the point where we are where anything's possible, like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, dreams are coming true
I
here
mean,
left
we
and right.
got fucking Game of the Generation Knack 2 announced.
Well, this is what I
Fuck.
feel. Yeah, I know. God.
Yes!
Woo, this is what I feel like when you talk about how they've gotten this thing down, like PSX. It's like they know how to ride the hype more than anything
They do.
else. They
They
can
do.
judge it. They can see what people want, and they can at least mention it. So where it's like, yeah, we feel like these little micro bursts of hype,
Mhm.
even though if they don't stay or they're not lasting. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
whoever,
that really good,
whoever
that-
is working on Sony's PR team is absolutely killing it.
exactly,
And
I
it makes... like they're making, you know, Xbox look like generic whatever and make Nintendo looks terrible and so out of touch.
yeah, God, they
By
need those.
comparison, having no clue how to interact with the fan base, how to generate hype,
Yeah,
how
they
to
need
even
step up.
announce games properly.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Having first party games is more of the problem. Like
That would also help.
what would
yeah.
Xbox talk about if they had their own conference like this?
Yeah,
Gears.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're still scale bound. But like, the thing is, with
Halo.
Xbox, if you have a PC, it's kind of already less interesting.
yep,
Yeah.
a lot of overlap there.
So- I don't know, but yeah, what else other than the the classics was announced? Is that all about like classics, like
Well,
remasters?
pretty
And...
much.
Rapid fire kind of going up. There's the new Final Fantasy VII demo update, which I still have yet to try.
Wait,
we
what?
saw most. There was a new trailer for Resident Evil. Not Final Fantasy.
I was
what
like,
the
wait,
fuck,
what? There's a demo? Hold on, let me stop the podcast and go download it.
Resident Evil 7, not Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 was absent, sadly, for this thing.
There's a
but I've
rumor
seen-
going around though. Did you see that rumor?
Yeah, like first episode released in 2017. I think this is way too optimistic.
But for Vita too, or no? What was it? 7?
No,
the demo?
that was like a collection of
it was Final Fantasy 1 through like 12
1 through 9.
Oh, 1 through 9.
Through 9, like
thought they had a
well,
12.
at least the
Whoa.
first 10
for Vita.
for Vita and PS4, like
be
for a
insane.
huge collection.
I'd buy
Oh.
that.
Yeah, of course.
I would, yeah.
God, but I don't know.
But
I,
don't
I
know,
doubt
like,
it.
would that fit all on a Vita cartridge?
No,
Like
I bet they'll split it up.
You need 2
Yeah, it
Vitas
might
to
be.
run it.
You need to be
No,
connected.
because sometimes there's, like-
cartridge for 2 Vitas.
There's like those collections that come like with multiple cartridges, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
multiple
that's true.
discs or whatever.
Yeah, but I'd get that. I think
That'd
that
be
would
so
be
dope.
great.
Uh,
I guess one of the big announcements was Last of Us Part 2.
So this is what they ended with. So let's
Yeah.
just skip
Yeah.
to it now. Which, like I said at the top of the podcast, which is I'm just barely playing through Last of Us,
Mhm.
the first one, Part 1, I guess is what it will be referred to now.
Yeah.
And I was still really, again, maybe it's just Sony the way they know how to do this, but I was still really like, oh, this is fucking awesome when they were showing the trailer. Like
Mm.
someone who just kind of knows that Last of Us was such a great, such a big hit and such a you know had such an audience and stuff. I still felt like, wow, this is cool for them to do this, and it looks like they're like interesting because I do know like bits and parts of like who Ellie was, and that she was the little girl who was the girl from Juno, and then they changed her face or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying like I do know that, so I'm like, okay, something happened, like, and it doesn't even spoil anything for me because I'm like, well, yeah, something has to happen, something big. But now she seems like angry in this trailer. She seems like mad, and obviously older.
Punished Ellie.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm just like, wow, that's really interesting.
The
but yeah.
theory is that like people think that Joel might actually be dead, and like she's seeing him, but like he's not really here, and
That
like
could
that's why she's going on the kind of a crazy killing spree.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I have, as someone who has no interest at all in Uncharted and most of these cinematic third-person shooters, The Last of Us was the only one that kind of got me, even though I wouldn't call it the Citizen Kane of gaming, but still like it was a really fucking good game.
Yeah.
And my hopes is that, yeah, improve on the survival elements more, like have more versatility and new options. And more enemy variety, most of all. Like, I think that would be nice to have.
Yeah, like, I'll talk shit about...
Yeah.
I'll talk shit about Uncharted because I prefer Tomb Raider games, and I know they're often compared. But I do believe... I've never played one, really, but I do think they're impressive. Like, you know, and I do think Naughty Dog is one of the best developers, you know, around today.
No. Technically, it's on points.
Yeah. So I do think it's going to be good. I mean, or... I'm sure it'll sell well and be great.
Yeah.
I just think they missed a major opportunity in not naming it The Last Two of Us.
the LA2T. I can't even fucking say it.
Yeah, or either like The Last of Us 2.
Or replace every S with a 2, developers.
Exactly.
That's what you need to do when you're making a part 2. No, don't do that.
And then they can... Their number 3 can be... I don't know, we'll skip 3. We'll just go to last. And we'll put, but the A will be a 4, you know?
Oh, shit.
It'll just be called last.
In
all caps.
Last.
Did anyone get, like, Godfather vibes at the beginning of the trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Well, when the part 2 comes out.
Yeah. Expect to see the little hand
so
with
part
the
3 is going to be
in
terrible, then, is what you're trying to tell us?
Don't play
Wasn't Godfather part 2 good?
Yeah, 2 was good. Yeah,
3
3
was trash.
Coppola was pushing it.
For sure.
God. Well, I was glad they ended it that way. That was huge.
Good conf.
Yeah. Good call on that.
Uh-huh.
Anything else y'all want to talk about from PSX?
Not PSX. There's one thing we actually could have talked about before, but like we haven't touched about, and that's Pokemon.
Yeah, let's talk about Pokemons.
I would like to talk about a bit of Pokemon. I know it's kind of like anticlimactic after talking about PSX. Chronologically, it doesn't make sense.
It's fine. This is probably what you guys have been doing, spending the most recent time doing.
This is what I've been playing.
Actually, I haven't played it all.
Yeah, I know Poon has been playing it. Some people on Dub, like Welp, have picked it up.
Yeah, Welp freaking bought a 3DS just to play it.
Yeah, actually, it's like, for me, it's the same. Like, I had the new 3DS I got was mostly for Pokemon, which tells a lot still about the selling power on my stupid reptilian brain.
But this is... Okay, so I did not like X at all. I mean, I enjoyed it like when I was starting it out, but I didn't even finish it. That's like maybe the first Pokemon game I haven't...
Exactly the same thing I did.
I couldn't bring myself to finish. I got to the point where, like, in the 8th gym afterwards, there's a part where you have to, like, ride on another fucking slow-ass Pokemon, and I was just like, I would rather quit than have to deal with this again.
Yeah, I think I just dropped it just because of time. Like, I just had other stuff I was doing, and I totally never went back to it. And like, now it's like, do I pick up there? Do I start over?
It was...
Pokemon? What do I do?
Nah, I was not feeling it at all, and... I didn't really care for the new crop of Pokemon that much. Like, and I have a thing where every game I always have to use the new ones. Like, I know some people, you know, like to use like Alakazam in their team every time. I feel like I always have to use the new ones. And so when the new ones suck, then that makes me sad because I hate my team.
Yeah.
But coming off of that, and I skipped, what was the remakes of...
Yeah, the Omega Ruby and Sapphire.
Omega Ruby, just because I heard, and I actually like Emerald, like that's one of my favorite games for Pokemon, but I heard the remakes were like, whatever. Didn't seem like it added that much. But then these games come out, and I fucking love Moon. this might be my new game of the year. Holy shit, I had so much fun playing it from start to finish. I was engaged in the story for once in my life with a Pokemon game. I loved, like, a lot of the new Pokemon. I had, like, a dozen guys that I was swapping out because I couldn't decide on 6 until, like, the very end to keep in my team. Music was great.
Who'd you choose as your starter?
I went with Litten. To get the Wrestle Cat. So I ended up not using him in my final team because I went with based Salazzle, that fire poison, amazing damage lizard.
Oh, right. I remember that dude. The black lizard dude.
Was great.
Dudette, please. Only females.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, only females.
That was actually an annoying thing. Only the female evolves, but it's got like a 12% chance of being female, so you have to like burn through a bunch of dudes in the wild, and if you don't know that and you just start raising a male one, that's just never going to evolve.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
The other thing that I really appreciated was how it felt like Game Freak is starting to realize what, 3D can mean for a game. In terms of you don't have to make everything blocky tiles, like the routes kind of curved around and there was unnatural jaggedy shapes and the grass was more, patched out and the camera moved and the character models were not so ridiculously chibi.
They're less chibi.
And one thing though is the frame rate was terrible.
Yeah.
3DS, man.
Exactly. And that's just the
people
limitation.
Want to complain about the optimization in Last Guardian. Like, I want to talk about fucking Game Freaks and that they never are good at optimization.
Game Freak is not a good developer. That's what I've realized. Like, I enjoy the Pokemon games, but I feel there are a dozen companies that could be handling this much better.
From a technical aspect.
Right, yeah. I don't even mean like redesigning it, just making the same game, but not being stupid about it.
Well, they get away with it, man, because the kids don't care. Like,
exactly, they don't.
What it is, and they're not like, oh my god, frame rate.
Was it with you, Poon, was I was talking, is like, just because we played Digimon Cyber Sleuth, it gives so much of a contrast. Like, what would Pokemon be if we gave it to a competent developer?
And Cyber Sleuth isn't a perfect game either. By any means.
Still
but
super
it's
good in some aspects.
That was maybe my game of the year before this. I don't know. But yeah, that had a lot of good things, and it's simple stuff like, why can't we have Pokemon following us anymore? You used to have it. Yeah. We can't anymore because the frame rate literally cannot handle another model. Really? And the worst thing is, people data mined it. There are walking and running animations and low poly models for every single Pokemon.
Really?
Just not used. So maybe they're coming out in the Pokemon Sun 2 and Moon 2 or Stars.
Instant buy.
Whatever.
Instant buy if a Pokemon
and maybe it will, because I love this game so much and I want to see a sequel to the story. I want to see the characters come back older and badass. I want to see... Well, another thing is, I'm from Hawaii. I grew up on Kauai, and so it's cool to go have a game set in my home state, my home area. Even though
your parents also sent you from island to island before you could get
yeah, exactly. It was like that. When I turned 11, they just kicked me out of the house and said, "Go do some dog fights, kid." We don't know.
Take that chicken on that volcano.
Yeah. There's some shirtless dude. He wants to talk to you about something. Follow him around.
I'll say maybe once you bang your mob, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You just let that happen. But it did piss me off though, because when you finally get to the Pony Island is the stand-in for real world Kauai, and they just made that like a wasteland. And
it's the fucking nothing island.
And that pissed me off because it's fucking Garden Isle is what it's known as. It's famous for being so lush. It's the wettest spot in the USA. Mount Waialeale rains every fucking day there. No, it's just gonna be wasteland. So that was annoying, but whatever. I wonder if it's like this for people who live in, Tokyo or Osaka or whatever, and they play these games like, wait a minute, my town isn't a polluted dump heap. What are you trying to say?
Well, me, it was fun when I was like, Pokemon X and Y was like France, so
that's
closer to where I lived, and so all around, yeah, okay, it looks pretty France-ish. Until that point when I go into this total fucking desert wasteland with
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, I don't remember
what the
this.
fuck is that?
Or like the bog area where it's all swampy and like, oh.
I know there are bog areas, but like the desert, like rocky mountains, like is that maybe outskirts of Paris? Maybe.
And I know they're
really
do it,
part.
to mix up the environments, and it's better than just having everything be the same.
Well, because of typing and stuff, but I could see just like a median game freak, like, well, we'll take some liberties and just drop Arizona right here in the middle.
Arizona,
fuck it, like it'll be fine.
No, because they always have like, okay, we have the forest thing, we have the mountain thing, we have like the more sea type area. And like, Sun and Moon goes because you can do this with islands, but with X and Y it was very blatant. It was like, it's like France. Oh, suddenly it's fucking Texas.
Hilarious. Yeah, hey, Game Freak. This is the best-selling Pokemon. This is the Nintendo's fastest-selling game, like ever.
Fastest-selling. I don't think it'd be best-selling because original sold like what 30 million or whatever. You're not going to beat that today. But fastest-selling. It's a major hit for them.
Pokemon Go helped a lot too.
Yes,
of course,
for sure. And it's mainly just because it got people.
Normies?
Yeah, it got people reminded. Like, wait a minute, Pokemon still exists.
Yep.
And
I think it also, like, there were a lot of people who were like, oh, Pokemon game for my phone that I played when I was younger. I'm going to play this game, and now I have kids, and now they have phones, and they're downloading it, so now they want to keep going with Pokemon. And
I'm going to get them a 3DS. I saw an ad, actually, that was very blatantly targeted at, it was an ad for Nintendo, products in the holidays, but it was very blatantly targeted at families who have young kids and are now playing the same games. Like in the ad, the dad is, like watching over the daughter's shoulder and be like, oh, you gotta, talk to Tom Nook and he'll fix your house. Yeah. Or, offering tips on Pokemon or Mario Kart or whatever. This ad? I was on Playboy TV, magazine. Man. I was watching Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, whatever.
Overall, I agree with everything you said about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Like, probably the best since Black 2, White 2.
Yep,
and my
I was just going to say.
Crystal. It still doesn't beat Black 2, White 2 in terms of post-endgame content.
No, and that's the one thing that's got me, because I never moved my team up from that game because the end game and the world tournament there was so good. And like, it's tough because now I want to move them because I want to see them all in 3D, and I like this game and world, but the end game is just not the same. So maybe in our Sun 2, we can get a cool world tournament again.
So maybe after the update for the Pokemon Bank, I don't know, that's coming in January. But Game Freak keeps doing this weird shit, and I was having a huge rant with a friend the other night because I got to the end game content after the Elite Four, and so the really cool thing I want to add they did is first thing, I think the best addition they did this gen is the right pager, which is fucking awesome. It's finally getting rid of HM/TM slaves.
Oh my god, it's so good. And it makes perfect sense in
smart move.
Universe as well. And it's better. Like I was telling before how I hated riding Pokemon in X and Y because it was so slow and you couldn't get off. There were mandatory little ride segments. Yeah. But in here, you just load them up real quick, and they're faster. It's a replacement for the bicycle at the same time.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
The only thing that would make it better would be some way, like maybe more variety in Pokemon. Like maybe they all do the same thing. Like you have the Tauros Smash. Maybe you can models. Yeah, maybe you can ride different ones that should not be beyond your capacity, Game Freak. But
the Machamp ride is the most lewdest thing.
That's the best thing. Fucking wife carrying you. Yeah. What about that one?
Carrying you in his arms.
This game had a lot of kind of lewd shit in it, like that in the one golf hotel where like there's so much Machamp who's like uncomfortable, and there's two lady trainers who are like, oh my, look at those muscles. I bet he could really carry our golf clubs for us, and like, dang. All right.
I would just point to one character that's Olivia, one of the champions.
Oh yeah,
like the dark skin. Like,
oh, you're talking about her design?
Yeah, talking about the
baby
chocolate goddess Olivia.
Thick.
Yeah.
No, but
alone, though.
And talking about Lud, like, there's also some very like you were talking about the story before, and it's like it also goes very dark if you start looking into it. It's like Team Skull is super funny. But you also realize all these bunch of misfits, loser kids are also being manipulated by this company. And the boss was like beaten by his father. You can find his room, and there's a bunch of broken golf clubs all around, which just shows like that like his father used to beat him, and that explains his relationship. And yeah, this is like probably the most thoughtful story they've ever done, and which actually got me invested in the. It's not like the best thing, but it's still like way better than anything they've ever did before.
It's no Citizen Kane either, but it's a nice, solid little story, and it's so much better than the usual. Oh my God! There's a transparently evil team around who no one stops for some reason, and they're capturing all the Pokemon.
And they have some shitty philosophical,
they have something about true beauty, or
Pokemon X was the fucking worst.
Yeah, you show up to the cafe and he just talks about like genocide, and the other guy's like, "What a fantastic individual!" Like, no, okay.
Fucking
also, look at his hair. He's totally not going to be the villain of this game.
He's got the hair looking like New Akuma. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
poking out everywhere.
Like fucking devil type of person. Yeah, like, what an interesting guy.
He can't be evil. Look at him. He looks like the boss at EA.
He just told that he might exterminate everything that's not fancy enough to his liking. I like this dude.
Yeah.
No, but the one thing that kind of irked me is that this stupid Game Freak does this all the freaking time when they go back on some stuff, like you were talking about, Pokemon following you, which is one thing.
Yep.
And the one good thing from X and Y, and they backtrack on this, was the super training. And it's like the super training was the one thing that
was like the punching bags and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was one thing that was super easy to train your EVs.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't bother me so much if the only post game content was battle trees and battle royales, which require you to have good Pokemon with good EVs to even compete in this type of stuff. So like they give you all this end game content. It's like, you have this little side quest that you can do for like the Ultra Beasts. But other than that, it's like Battle Tree, and like, I did a few, like, I could just got bodied because all my Pokemons, of course, were like the Pokemons I leveled up with, so all their EVs were all over the place, so I had to go, so instead of just having the super training, it's like, so you have to instead grow berries so you can reset your things, but you can also do this thing at the Pokemon Festival, which is totally bullshit and not practical at all.
Okay, that Festival Plaza also is annoying to me because one of the good things that I really liked in X and Y was how, like, at the bottom screen all the time you could just tap and like trade with everybody for battle. It really felt like it felt as if it had all the pluses of a Pokemon MMO in terms of communication and community without all the negatives of seeing a bunch of motherfuckers standing around in the field, waiting for you to talk up to them. Like, I really thought that was great.
But no, you have to go into the plaza.
It's some convoluted festival plaza, and you have to talk to people. And don't get me started on version exclusive clothes and colors. That's something else. That's like they put it in, but they half-assed it. So that's another great room for improvement.
Yeah, but
in the
thing you point out of the plaza is still the one big thing that Game Freak should really improve. Is like, stop making me press A all the fucking time.
Oh my god. So, picking up berries?
Like, there's this absurd moment where it's like, this NPC gives you 6 items. It's like, hey, I have this stuff for you, I'm gonna give it to you. So-and-so gives you an item. You put item in the medicine pocket. Then the animation plays again. So-and-so gives you an item. You put the item in the medicine pocket. Do this 6 times.
Yeah, and it is literally 6 times, because he gives you 6 items. I don't know why they couldn't just give you have this, got items, put items in the bag.
Yeah, not even like put items, like got items, done.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Or even just, here, let me give you this.
And that's the same thing. And I have to say, the one thing that annoys me is like the beginning of Sun and Moon is super slow, and I really
that is true. That's very true.
They would give like a thing,
and the whole game is very handholdy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I've heard the most.
Yeah,
I mean, there was this whole article about how people were begging Nintendo, like, make it a little bit more difficult or put in a mode that's like harder. Because
the thing is, it's actually pretty, like, the actual difficulty of the game, the battles near the end of the game do get pretty tricky.
I would say so. I found myself, I beat the Elite Four with my team. Like, I went in with my team in, like, 52, and by the end of it, they were, like, 55, because they all, leveled up and stuff, and I beat them all in one go. But it felt like a good challenge going through. But it's like, I hate how it's so obvious that you're being railroaded. I don't really mind being railroaded if I'm not made aware of it. But when I try to go in one direction and a guy's like, I'm looking for my contact lens, you can't come this way.
There's this huge road that you can go around, like, no.
Yeah, there's a Toro standing in the middle of the street, and you cannot go past it. You're like,
this contact lens.
Yeah, this happens 4 times with the Toros. Or like, it's just fucking Toros in the middle. It's like they even self-aware of this. Like, it's kind of becomes a running gag.
Yeah,
which is just like, this is so fucking stupid. There's this whole
we know this is
him.
bullshit, and we know this is bullshit, but you have to deal with it. Sorry,
you
contact lens or some shit.
Why are you doing this? And and they do this for everything. Like what he said with the festival plazas, so instead of just having one button to join, like, online battles or trades, no, you have to go into this and then connect to the internet, go into this menu. And this has been the philosophy. The Game Freak's been doing that for games, and they slowly improve every game, but sometimes they also go back on, like, a previous thing that was just perfectly fine. And I don't know why they keep doing this.
I think it's I think a large part, though, of like the why you have to press A so many times and stuff is, I feel like that they like to reuse so much of their code and stuff, and you think that it's a simple thing to just recode, but for whatever reason, maybe that's a core part of the Pokemon engine, and like how it checks and putting things in bags and moving through dialogue.
Thinking is that they're so bad that they could not code this out. It's just how it is.
Exactly. I completely believe that would happen, that they are just either too incompetent to get around that, because it's...
Dude, it's so easy, though. Control F, A... delete. Like, come on.
I would think. I would hope and pray, but
no more A button. There you go.
Oh well.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Like there's other little things also, like for hyper training, which is the thing which allows you to reset your IVs. You have to have your Pokemon level 100, but you have no way to grind them. You have to just do the Elite Four over and over again. It's all this kind of the little things.
Seems tedious.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried the 4-on-4 battle or whatever the hell it is?
I haven't actually. Other than the one it makes you play in game, I haven't tried it outside of that.
I've tried the actual ones and actually enjoyed quite a lot, but I don't have, like, that's the thing. You need a good team to harness this thing, because I beat the normal and super mode, and I like hyper mode. It's like every opponent is like mega evolved assholes who deals tons of damage and will go before you unless you have like a super good Pokemon to also. Because Mega Evolutions are not gone, as I thought. Like, they are still used in these PvE battles.
Oh boy!
So, and you can get Mega Stones. There's also a bunch of ones I've missed because with Ruby and Sapphire remakes, there's been some new Mega Evolutions.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's still there. Z moves are good though. The Z moves I have nothing against, and they make incredible poses.
Yeah, the Z-move, I was afraid they would be super obnoxious, and again, there's a question of do the pose, and then it has to give you a message box to tell you so-and-so powered up with Z-power. Like, I get it. I get it. But they're not as overpowered as I expected. I was going in thinking they would always be like one-hit kills, but their actual base power is only like 150 at max or something like that, right?
Yeah, they're good. The good thing is that everybody can use them, and they're a good trump card in your deck of Pokemon if you need like a get out of jail free. Like I use that a lot on the battle trees, as like on my the CDI my Rowlet evolution who uses the Z.
I still don't like that name. God.
Yeah, I've renamed mine.
Decidueye. What does it stand for?
It's like deciduous trees, but also I don't know. That's a terrible name. They should have gone with like Robin Hood.
Like
easy.
The French name is like Archiduc, which is just like Dutch. Like Archiduc is like a play on word for like a not the Duchess, like the masculine
a duke,
like a
duke,
male version of duke,
and Archer, which means archer.
Okay, well there you go then. That works.
Archduke, like, super good.
Yeah.
something. Decidueye like, what?
It's like,
Yeah,
what the
so
fuck?
and it looks like it sounds bad, but it's spelled even worse. Like how many kids on the playground have no idea how to pronounce it? They're getting into fights over there.
It's like almost
know.
as legendary as Ziu.
Zuyu?
Ziu, whatever the
Zuyu,
fuck
legendary
little pronunciation. Legendary bird. Decidueye, that's what they could have called him.
Yeah.
But
I think-
yeah,
yeah.
that's Pokemon, guys.
That's
I'm glad you guys
Pokemon.
are having fun. I'm gonna pick it up sometime next year when it's hopefully cheaper. I doubt it.
Or
though,
maybe you
Nintendo.
can just
Well,
wait until the
The
Yeah,
Switch.
get stars.
the super version comes out. Or yeah, I would be into a port for the Switch because they could put it on non-garbage hardware with a non-garbage
It's
resolution.
gonna look the same, and just not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
have
of course.
frame rate drops when there's
Yeah.
full Pokemon on
Upscale.
streams.
Because the models are actually good. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but like the actual Pokemon models,
Oh yeah,
rather high poly.
and they actually have like interesting animations. That
Yeah,
make
yeah.
them look more distinct compared to X and Y.
Mm-hmm. It's just that the machine is not up to snuff, and that's
Yeah.
just another reason
Are
why.
you telling me the 3DS is like a 7 years old machine?
I know,
Yep.
right? That's rendering 2 screens, except I guess they're not even rendering
even
in
using
3D
3D.
for this, but
Like
it's still
not
unable.
an option.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. I'll get the Pokemon Insane collection. Just every collection is gonna be called
Every
Insane
collection is the
now.
Insane collection. I like it.
All right.
The Dark Souls Insane collection.
Insane collection. Moving on to our final thing of the podcast, which is emails.
Oh boy.
Because we've actually acquired a couple since we were on hiatus for about a month. So
I mean, this is
I'm just
why
gonna
this is why we wait longer. We're just giving you more time.
it actually probably
How many
helped
emails
out that
do we
way.
have?
We have 4, but I'm gonna
Whoa!
read 2. I'm
Whoa.
gonna read 2 today, and then we'll save 2 for the next time. But this is from October the 21st and the 22nd. So
Savor these.
and
wow.
one of them is a little dated, so you'll see what I mean.
Alright.
The first one comes from, he actually has his name, so we don't have to make up a name for him, but this is from Big Bad Lich, is what he goes by. So
Alright.
it's a very simple question, so that's why I kind of want to get out of the way.
Who do you
but
think
he's...
is going to win the election?
God, I can't wait till Hillary wins, right, guys? No. Okay, glad he says, glad to see the podcast is back. Oof, I was sweating. J-Ray.
Sorry.
So sorry.
Got him.
Here's a question to ask, and it's just very simple. Who is your favorite video game character? Big Bad Lich.
God
All
damn.
time.
So this is it's as simple as it is. Thinking about it, I'm kind of like, I have fucking no idea.
Fucking
Um,
favorite video game character.
Yeah, I guess it can
That's
be
hard.
literally anyone. Obscure, not
I'll go with Wario
really.
because I like his games, and
His mustache.
yeah, he's got a fancy mustache. I think it's amazing how he's just an asshole in all of his games, even when he's the main character. And just because it's a great, like maybe the best example of, we made Mario, but dark and twisted and edgy, but he's not. He's just like this goofy, like parody of Mario where he's greedy, where instead of heroic, and he's hilarious. I play him in all the Mario Karts and all the Mario parties. So Wario's my pick.
That's a good one. Shit. Anyone else have their favorite video game character off the top of their head?
I can't pinpoint like one particular, but I would say I'll say 2 that I have. The one I would say one of the objectively favorite ones I have is Kirby.
Whoa.
Because
That's cool.
I think
Because
he
he
just-
suck and get suck.
Damn.
I just think he represents like everything that's good in video games in terms of like he has the
A
most
simpler time.
Yeah.
No, but like he has the most, and so even like with the most recent, like he has the most good games. He's just one of the most loved mascots, and the most variety. I don't know, like I like Kirby a lot. The other one I would say is like the character from Deadly Premonition.
Okay.
Francis York
Kind of giving
Morgan?
us 2
Francis York
little
Morgan.
opposites
Oh,
here. I
his
like it.
name
We get a
got
full
stuck in my
spectrum.
head.
Yeah. That's good. Varia? Do you want to go?
Man. It's a huge question, but like, if I
Yes.
were to be really honest with myself, I'd say characters like Samus, because I have no idea why, but like maybe I do know why, but I'm just lying to myself. But
I think I know why.
Why is your name Varia?
yeah, right? But basically because silent characters like Gordon Freeman, Samus, for some reason I feel like more connection with them because I grew up as a really quiet kid, and like I think it's because they got a lot done, even though they didn't say much. And that's kind of the way I approach things when I work with other people. Like, imagine, like, you get assigned something and then I disappear for, like, who knows how long and then come back just before the deadline. They're like, holy shit, you got so much done. And it's just, like, I don't know, those characters manage to do so much without, like, speaking a word, and they let their actions, like, dictate what the course of the story, you know? And I think that's why I connect and like them the most. So yeah, Samus.
Bouncing off that a little bit, where it's like
I like
let...
Jeff Keighley. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Harambe.
God damn.
Oh, wrong, Jeff.
Everybody.
No. So bouncing kind of off what you said, where it's like they don't really say much or do much, but it's kind of just their presence in a way, or like
599.
So, Moose.
Beefy is my favorite character.
I've always had a thing, and I'm sure you guys know. I've always had a kind of like a likeness for Proto Man, where I like everything about him.
I'd say it's more of a likeness.
Yeah,
more of a sexual attraction.
Yeah, I think so. Like I can't stop thinking about him. But if you're just Mega Man 2, when he comes in, it's like he just. First of all, if you know his story, obviously it's like sad in a way. But he's so. The music when he comes in for me as a kid, it was just like the epitome of like.
I wish I could whistle it right now, but I can't whistle. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just like it was so badass to me, and his fucking yellow scarf, and he's like holy shit, like who are you? Like you're like okay, you're playing Mega Man, and you're like me, but like different and like mad about it, and like something about that makes me
dark hooded you.
Yeah, kind of like something about him just as a kid stuck with me as like. That's like the epitome of what a badass is. Like, that's fucking cool. You just drop in and like, holy shit. And another part where I got that, and again, it's Mega Man, but is Zero in X when he first comes in?
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing, right?
Yeah, he just like, oh, by the way, I'm you, but fucking 10 times better. And I'm going to fucking win this battle for you when he's fighting. Oh, God, I totally blanking on his name. The
Viral?
purple guy. Huh?
Oh, Vile.
Vile.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
You're talking X, right?
Yeah, an X, yeah.
Yeah, it's Vile.
Okay, well, when he's fighting him and Zero just comes in and is like, bam, dead. Like, you know, like, oh shit. Like, you spend that whole fight, and it's a fight you're supposed to lose. Like, it's in the tutorial of the game. You're supposed to lose it, you can't win. But it's just like those kind of characters, the way they drop in and they're like, oh, one day you're gonna be like this, like as good as me. But right now you're not. And it's just like, oh, it gives me this feeling like that's fucking awesome. Like, so I think Proto Man is like why I'm drawn to him in that way, because ever since I was a kid, it stuck with me that he was fucking cool.
That actually reminds me of something else that I maybe should have said, but Akuma, another one of my all-time favorites, and he's coming to Street Fighter V and looks like a lion. It's whatever, but yeah, it's the same sort of thing of him.
I like fucking Elephant Man. He got bloated in his face.
Mane.
Yeah. At least he's got a classic costume. But you're talking about how he comes in, bodies the final boss for you, and like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like
what's
the hell,
going
man?
on? He's got
I've
my
always loved
moves,
that
but
shit.
stronger, and he killed me, and my quarter's gone. Oh my. It was great. Yeah. So that kind of character, when you do it right, can be so effective. That sort of I'm you but better, edgier and badass and cool can be really good. It can kind of fall flat at times, but yeah.
Which is why I was super excited to see X again, because it just reminds me of Mega Man X, where it's like, God, getting all the armor and stuff. It's like such a good
my
game.
helmet back on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, okay, next email. This guy doesn't have a name other than his Gmail address, so I don't want to use that. So someone give me a name.
Clancy.
Wait, what?
Dog.
Dog.
You said
what did you
Dog
say?
Clancy.
Doug Clancy.
Okay, Doug Clancy.
Doug Clancy, or Doug Funny, is what Doug Clancy writes, and again, this is dated, so Final Fantasy 15, The Last Guardian, and Gravity Rush 2 are all coming out around the same time. Oh god. Which do you guys recommend? Which is the most bang for my buck?
Oof, well,
wait, is this
It's kind of
Gravity
funny
Rush
that he wrote
delayed?
that
Gravity Rush
before
2
they
was
came
delayed.
out.
Okay.
I guess did he know that we would not
delay,
answer it
so
until...
So Gravity Rush 2 was delayed until what? February? January? End of January?
January, actually.
January, yeah.
And
It was supposed
by the way, they've announced a DLC for March as well.
Oh, right,
free DLC.
Oh,
during
it's
PSX.
free. Well, great.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to come out in October, at the end of October,
November.
early November.
Yeah.
Like it was
So I
supposed
guess
to
he-
come out right at the same time as Final
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did he say? Last Guardian, Final Fantasy, and
And,
Gravity Rush.
Gravity
we
Rush
could say
2.
about two of these threes, but
So I'm
I don't
guessing he
know.
like-
They totally did two totally different games.
I feel like he said bang for your buck, and again, I haven't played any of these, but there's no way Final Fantasy 15 isn't the biggest game.
Yeah, well, see, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
You know,
if you're judging off of time, in-game hours, I would
If
say,
you're
Final
going to
Fantasy
get
15.
like one game for the holiday season because you're so poor and you only get one game, you need that to last. Probably you're going to get the most mileage out of whatever it's called.
There's so
Fantasy
much
5.
in it.
Fantasy 5, whatever.
Final Fad.
Final 5.
Final 5,
yeah.
12.
Coming 2018. No, but yeah, even though it's like I absolutely adore Last Guardian, I would say also, and even I would say thinking of Gravity Rush 2, even though
I know it's so hard to not. Well, because also we don't know exactly how Gravity Rush 2 is really. Now we have a semblance of an idea of these
I'm
two.
thinking just in terms of sheer size and stuff to do. Final Fantasy 15. It's just like you want to have a game that you can play for hours and hours and hours. And just find all the shit that's in it. Then 15 by far.
Yeah, I guess we'll all say 15 unless Varia is like, save your money for Nier.
That and like I kind of like Gravity Rush too. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and I haven't had as deep a connection with Final Fantasy like growing up as other people had, so I have like less incentive to like buy the game, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're low, get all of them.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all good.
Just put it. Ask Santa, to bring you all of them. Bring you an early release copy of Gravity Rush 2. It'll be
great. Here's a pro tip: Dog Fancy or whatever the hell we named you.
Clancy.
Oh, Dog Clancy. Here's
Get
a
it
pro
right.
tip: rob a bank. Just steal shit. How about that?
Shoot old people that can't defend themselves.
God,
just steal it, man.
What
are you waiting for?
Yeah, you save your money for Nier
too. The ultimate superpower.
We didn't even talk about Nier. Ugh.
Well,
it's
no,
coming out.
It has a release date. It's in March.
Release date March 17th?
7th.
March 7th.
Early quarter one of next year is going to be bug fuck crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like,
Horizon.
You think right now is
Persona.
crazy, and it is pretty crazy. But
like, almost month by month is one big game I want. Like, Gravity Rush, then Horizon, then
Persona
Nier,
5.
then Persona 5.
Then Persona 5. Yeah.
And the release of Nintendo's Switch coming out.
And
Zelda. That's going to be a big
Zelda
thing.
is delayed, so I guess
we don't know that for sure yet, but everyone is reporting it as a rumor. So
yeah,
let's see what happens.
With rumors being mostly true these days. So.
It really does seem like it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I'm always the doubting Thomas on these things, and I've had to eat my words so often in like the past month about leaks and shit.
Yeah.
So,
like, what can you say when stuff like Final Fantasy VII and Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or Infinite has been proven right? Like, well, fuck it.
But at the same time, remember the mock-ups for the fake NX controllers?
Oh yeah,
and Rayman and Smash Bros. And all those things. See, that's what I think of. It's so easy to not easy, but it's so possible to fake things so well these days.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's what I think the reason is that the reason leaks become truth, or the reason that they seem like they're more right nowadays, is because the internet has grown in such a way that it's so easy to not easy, but eventually the fake stuff comes out before anything's announced. So like they can debunk them faster. So like the reason that these rumors last is because if it was fake by the next day, we would have known. And if it goes on until the announcement, then it's right. So you know what I mean? Like
that's actually a good point.
That's how I feel.
Because people are on it these days. Yeah. If there's some hole in the theory, they're gonna find it immediately.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Yeah.
So if there's not,
then it just happens. Yeah, it comes true, and then it was real. So I think that's what we're seeing.
There's also the thing that now there's some key people like Lower K, people like who've been consistently right about some of the leaks. Like Lower K has been constantly right.
Yeah, and there are consistent sources for leaks as well. It doesn't feel like these are all just coming out of random.
Yeah, we kind of know.
My dad works at Nintendo and told me that it's.
And like Polygon and other websites have been like they basically have pretty trustworthy, like sources. All of these websites have like the same sources, and so like these sources have always been kind of on the bank every time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, look at the PS4 Pro, dude. It was fucking unboxed before it was even announced.
Yeah.
Like,
that
shit's insane.
The best. Like oh, they're gonna keep denying its existence while I'm posting screenshots and actually touching it with my
gameplay.
hand.
Yeah.
It's weird. So that brings us to the end of... about Nier, I wanted to say one last thing. Demo's coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that, everybody.
That'll be neat.
In the coming weeks, they said. Nier, there's a demo.
Cool.
Going for it, yeah. So anyways, that wraps up our episode this week, this
Guess
month.
so.
No,
This month.
This
hopefully
month,
we'll
I
have
have no.
another one.
Maybe
Well-
monthly is the way to go. We talk about a good old number
We're
of
gonna
It's
do
stuff.
December,
chunk.
but yeah, I mean
I don't
that would probably work. I think that way we can at least know we have an episode out because things are getting hectic right now.
We
Maybe during the
expect
summer years.
every major event for us at least to show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good promise to keep. E3 comes and
We'll have
goes.
to, and we're gonna probably show up more of like early next year with all these releases. We're gonna do these a bit more
Oh
often.
yeah,
at
I'll be
least.
back here talking about myself if y'all can't talk about Nier and
Yeah.
shit, and probably Horizon and Persona. I'll just be
Do a
talking
solo
to the
cast,
void.
Sure.
just doing voices like.
Yeah.
Wow,
What's up?
Like-
I had a really rough day this week.
What do you think?
Oh yeah,
British?
we haven't even talked about like Overwatch Season 3 or like Symmetra changes. or
No one
stuff,
cares.
so-
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Overwatch is still a thing, guys. Go play it. Yeah, there's
Yeah, it's
other
game of the year,
characters.
whatever.
Sombra's out now. The meme
Oh yeah,
finally ended.
Sombra's out.
You mean
to
Laura?
be-
Season 3.
In Hacker Laura.
We'll talk
No, but
about it the
I'd
next
be interested
time.
in doing like a Final Fantasy cast or something like that. Stuff to
Oh, dude, we
everybody.
should. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Because I think that's like after so many years, this is like the biggest one that's been like 10 years in the making,
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
we could get a fairly good chunk of.
Oh, we should have
how the
Pepsi on.
game-
He's like 11 hours in.
Oh yeah, well we can have it next time.
Final Fantasy 15 cast coming to you soon. I'm an hour in. So, what do you guys think about pushing that car? How was that? Oh, man.
The very first thing you do. No, but
didn't
like
get to play.
it's just surreal how like I want to point this out. This year like might have been shit for everything else, but for video games it has been pretty fucking good.
This has been a great year for games. It's been great. I've bought more games this year than like the last 2 years put together, probably.
Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked at so many good things and stuff I didn't expect, like stuff like Doom, who was like
Yeah.
fucking good.
Yeah,
Crazy good. Man,
Doom
insane.
is like the Fury Road of it's a sequel to like beloved things, and it was like, why are you
Mm.
making this again? It's not going to be good. You're not going to recapture it. Oh shit! It's the best in the series.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Out of nowhere,
Whatever.
right? Crazy.
And you have two of the biggest vaporware games who
Yeah.
come out at the same time and are good. Like
Yeah.
I just can't like.
If you're a
it's
tired
weird.
gamer who's sitting there is like, man, video games aren't fun anymore, then maybe you're not fun anymore, and you need to rethink your entire life.
Wow.
because-
Yeah,
The
please
hard
truth.
attack our 3 listeners.
yeah, video
Get off
games
your
are not
ass.
the
Last
problem.
listeners.
Yeah. All right. Well, then that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to anybody out there, because we're not going to see you till after that.
Oh, happy
holidays.
Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
Merry
whatever the
Kwanzaa.
fuck y'all celebrate. It's just
Festivus.
oh,
That's when Martin Luther
also,
King comes back and gives you presents. Edit that out, please.
Racist. No, that's going to be the beginning of the episode. Now you racist shit. No, we're
I love
Let's get
black
Moose
people.
on.
really quick. Follow on us on Spreaker if you're listening to this. Comfycast, give us a follow, please. Really helps out the show. We have our Twitter, which we haven't posted anything in a long time, but that's where I'll put this up to. It's Comfycast, Twitter/Comfycast. And if you have any suggestions about what we should talk about or any questions, even though we're sitting on 2, so we're looking pretty good for next month. But
Those guys are going to get pissed when they don't get their emails read. You're gonna be like, God damn.
I know for a fact there are people outside of Dub that listen to this.
yeah,
I've
so
met
please,
them.
Yeah.
suggestions, things you want us to talk about, games we don't cover, different developers, whatever the hell, or questions, like I said, just general questions, send them to comfycast@gmail.com. I am checking it. Beefy, you sent me some emails angry. Where's my episode? I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say that Beefy sent you some lewds. Like, all right. That's cool.
Yeah, he's
You
been
know.
emailing me like, you said there was one a month. I'm like, I'm sorry.
We have a
so-
Discord for that.
Yeah.
comfycast@gmail.com and the Twitter. That's where you can reach us. And yeah, thanks for listening. Everybody have a good cold month of December, hopefully. And
Yeah.
so everybody stay comfy.
Yeah, stay comfy. Play some
Stay
games.
comfy.
Okay?
Oh, bye.
We all gotta say stay comfy. All
Oh,
right,
Merry
okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, bye.